few months ago, I had a nightmare. I had a dream that my mother died. To this day, I have absolutely no idea why it happened, or even how the event unfolded in my dream, though I believe it was triggered by a fear I had, the fear of losing people I loved. Anyways, all I remember was that when I woke up, my chest ached, my heart was beating fast, I was sweaty, and I was crying. I couldn't even think straight. All I did was wake my mom up. She found me in this distraught state and asked me what was wrong. All I said was, "Please, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to lay next to you." I kid you not, my mom didn't say a single word after that. She just moved over and let me lay beside her. Now, I'm 5'7". My mom is about 5'2", or 5'2.5", as she claims. Nevertheless, I was a good 5 inches taller than her. So if there was any cuddling going on, it would be my mom cuddling on my shoulder, because the other way around was virtually impossible. But that night, I clutched my mom so hard that I'm surprised I didn't stop her circulation. However, I felt a huge sense of relief and warmth, and I was able to get through that night. The next day, however, I couldn't stop thinking about this gut-clenching pain I felt when I thought of my amazing mom permanently leaving my side. And it was then that I realized more love and affection can lead to a more painful heartbreak. But what did that mean for me? If love had the power to harm you, then should I protect myself from it? Should I close myself off from affection and care because I would lose it one day and that pain would be too unbearable? And if I fell apart at just the thought of losing someone, would I completely break apart if it actually happened, and that too to the countless number of people I love? These were the raging questions in my head, and I couldn't stop thinking about it for days on end. The thoughts would begin with this idea of death, and then the loss of love, and then grief and pain, and then my horrible future, and then at some point, it would become just too unimaginable and too fearful. But one day, I stopped. I absolutely hated the way I was feeling. And in all honesty, I was extremely irritated with myself. I did not want to be like this. So I decided it was time for a reality check. I needed to refocus myself. And in doing that, I realized how crazily I had blown things out of proportion. It was so ridiculous that it was almost funny. Here I was, worrying about a hypothetical future, which I created in my mind, when in reality, in the present, every single person I loved was still right there. My mom, with whom this all started with, was sitting right there next to me, joyously laughing with a radiant smile on her face. She was joking around and being happy, like always. I realized that basically, when I should have been cherishing the moments and creating beautiful memories with my friends and family, I instead wasted that time getting into a frenzy over something that I had no control over. This type of loss of perspective is essentially a universally common issue. When a problem presents itself, we tend to worry rather than think first. We blow things out of proportion to whole new levels, and we make ourselves crazy over what the consequences might be. But what's important to realize is that consequences will always be inevitable. So if you can't escape it, might as well embrace it. This is the reality check that we all need in life. We need to refocus our attention back to what we can control rather than what we can't. Worrying about things that aren't in our hands isn't going to solve anything. It's just unnecessary clutter that needs to be cleared out so that we can find that true and raw center again. And if we do this, if we keep it real like this all the time, we will be able to find numerous solutions to our problems. In fact, We ourselves can become a solution because at least our minds are functioning sanely. For me, becoming the solution to my fear was refocusing back on the fact that death is and will always be inevitable. It can come for anyone at literally any time. Therefore, complaining about it was unworthy of my time. Instead, I had to focus on cherishing the amazing moments with the amazing people I'm surrounded by. So now I ask of you all to think. Just think for a single moment. What is the unnecessary clutter that you are carrying around? What reality do you need to focus back on? Because remember, every single one of us has the potential and power to be something great and extraordinary. And if we fall back on track, all it takes is a quick and single reality check to refocus ourselves. So go ahead, refocus, recenter, and become the solution. Thank you.